at your house and doing all that if it's just a sexual relationship and you don't care anything about her?
They pushed their way in on me, Your Honor.
No, that's not true.
You say this was just casual, it was nothing.
Myself out like that, ever. He was drunk. He
I was drunk and passed out and you took advantage of me. Oh, come on, woman.
He woke me up.
You got so much to say about one another. But what does this have to do about this baby knowing who her father is? Now, wait, I want to understand this. Are you, Mr. Robinson, do you hope this baby is yours?
Well, gather around, folks, because we've got a case that's juicier than a soap opera. Oh yeah, it's the classic tale of Who's Your Daddy, starring Mr. Horn and Ms. Mannion. Get ready for some DNA drama as they both fight it out.
Mr. Horn, you had a wild weekend 3 decades ago and now find yourself in court to prove that you are not the biological father of Ms. Mannion's 29-year-old son, Andrew. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You will meet him for the very first time in a moment, but say today's DNA test will prove you are not his dad.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Mannion, you admit to this wild weekend of sex, but claim...
So, picture this. Baby daddy had a wild weekend 3 decades ago. Quite a fun time. Now he's in court trying to prove he's not the dad of 29-year-old Andrew. Well, the fun times resulted in fun consequences. Surely not for these guys.
So, Mr. Horn, now you claim you received a shocking phone call 5 years ago. Tell the court what happened.
I was at work. I got a phone call from a family member who never calls me at work. Asked me if I remembered a certain name, which was her name, and I was like, you know how I was back then. I really don't have a clue who you're talking about. So she mentioned a couple other names, and that kind of rung a bell and told me that she got a phone call.
But wait a minute, there's more. Plaintiff admitted to the wild weekend of passion, however swore up and down that he was. Most surely her baby daddy. It's like a plot twist you didn't see coming. Am I right? So what's it gonna be?
He is the father because I was in another relationship and a paternity test did come out that the other guy was not the father. And there's only 2 people that I was with during that time.
So there were 2 people you were with, and you said you had a DNA test on the other one, and so you feel like it has to be Mr. Horn from this point.
Yes.
Okay, I want to understand how all this started.
Time for another crazy turn. Mr. Horn claims he received a shocking phone call, and that too 5 years ago. That's quite some time. Someone dropped a bombshell that he might be Andrew's dad. Certainly not the news he would have loved hearing. Nope.
Okay, so
No.
we don't know who woke who up.
Right.
And because that's the evening you say you conceived your son.
I only slept with Mr. Horn twice.
Okay.
One that night and one the next day.
And then from there, you basically moved on. You guys did not start a relationship. You didn't keep in touch. It was none of that.
Not even close.
Did you ever hear she was pregnant?
I found out that she was pregnant.
Now, here's where it gets spicy. Baby daddy threw some shade and implied that Ms. Mannion might have been a bit promiscuous back in the day. Ouch. Not something you want to hear about yourself in front of a bunch of people.
I even called her family after this because the said dude that she thought was the father gave me the phone number because I was like, you know, if I got a kid, I want to be part of the kid's life. When I called, the grandmother answered the phone and I said who I was, and the grandmother's like, are you sure that you're the father?
So you knew at that point there was a question as to the paternity.
Yes, ma'am. I'll admit, I used to drink a lot and used to drug a lot.
Next up, the court heard about a birth certificate, another guy, and a mysterious DNA test. Here was the catch though. No one had seen this supposed test. It's like trying to solve a mystery without any clues. Nada.
A kid that probably wasn't even mine anyway, so I just let it go.
Okay, so you thought someone else was the father. You had him take a DNA test, but you never saw the results. Did you ever see Mr. Horn after that, Miss Mannion?
No, I had no way to get a hold of him. All I know is my mother told me that he contacted them and even left his name, his phone number for when my child gets older to contact them.
But the real kicker was when Andrew, the 29-year-old in question, stepped up. About time, fella. He had been carrying the name Kevin Horn in his mind since he was 12. And now I'm in desperate need of some answers.
The very first time.
The first time you asked.
The first time I asked.
And she had absolutely no doubt in her mind.
She had no doubt in her mind.
She didn't say it could be somebody else too.
No, she didn't.
Just said Kevin Horn.
Yep.
At that point, what did you do with that information?
I stored it in memory.
You stored it
So I can find a way to find him.
until you could find a way to find him.
Time for the birth certificate to have its time of the day. Now this truly was insane, because the poor guy had never seen his birth certificate before, and the fact that another man's name was listed as father, that must have been confusing as heck.
So wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, my son's last name is my maiden name.
Okay, so you gave your son your maiden last name.
Yes, I did.
The name of the father on the birth certificate, is it the same name of the man that had the test previously?
Yes, it is. He signed the birth certificate before the test was done.
So, Mr. Horn, you don't seem like you believe in this.
Being sucked up in this whirlwind of paternity drama, Judge Lake blew up on these people, casually making such choices, and for such a long time. So she ended up taking them along a ride they would never forget.
First, he thought your father was his father. Then he thought your husband was his father. Then you told him he was his father. Then in court,
Then
you
you
said
told him
there's
somebody else.
another guy. I'm listening to this story. And at 29 years of age, I think we need to take a little bit more seriously the fact that he still really doesn't know who his biological father is.
Let's wrap up this paternity saga and pull the curtain on this 3-decade-long drama. Mr. Andrew wanted answers, and he had waited long enough. All eyes on the envelope. Let's see what was his fate.
Mr. Horn, you are his father.
We got this one, right?
Yeah,
How do you feel?
I'm very happy.
I'm happy for you. You're a 29-year-old young man, and you know what? I see young men come in this courtroom that have never, ever known their father at all. That's one issue to deal with, and that is difficult.
Continuing the courtroom drama extravaganza, we've got Jones versus Joyner, and it was about to get juicier than a binge-worthy TV show. The plaintiff was pointing fingers at her ex-boyfriend, a responsible military veteran, but he wasn't having it. Can you smell the suspense? It's thick in the air.
Ms. Jones, you claim the defendant is an ex-boyfriend who got you pregnant and now refuses to do anything for your 8-month-old daughter, Hazel.
Yes.
You and your mother petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is Hazel's father, so he will finally step up. Mr. Joyner, you say you are a responsible U.S. military veteran who would never neglect a call to duty and are 100% certain you are not her child's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jones was laying down the accusations one by one. She came prepared. Baby daddy had been a deadbeat, apparently, and hadn't done a thing for their 8-month-old daughter, Hazel. She was like, show me the money, and the drama escalated.
So you just from the start didn't believe it?
No, Your Honor.
Take me back to the nature of this relationship. Were you in committed relationship, dating, what?
No, Your Honor.
We were dating. We were dating.
Your Honor, I would not say we was dating in any kind of serious relationship. I met her at our place where we worked at. It was a restaurant, and I mean, hell, the first night I brought her home, Your Honor, I didn't even know her name. I mean, just to be honest.
Now, Mr. Joyner was playing the not my baby card. So we've got a classic he said, she said situation here, people. Baby mommy claimed she cut off all her other romantic ties when things got hot and heavy with the defendant. They even talked about moving in together quite fast. But hold up, folks. Baby daddy had a defense prepared.
Once we got serious, I cut all that off. And that was probably like, I give it take 3 weeks after that. I cut everybody off to be with him.
She was serious with him, Your Honor, very serious.
He met my grandparents, all my family, my friends.
Everybody. I really had respected him. I said, Libby, it looked like you got a good man this time in your life. And I was respecting him. I was going over there to his home.
The courtroom buzzed with their past relationship status. Were they a couple, or was it just a casual fling? Even the judge was like, spill the beans. And so the veteran began spilling the tea. He cited all her alleged trysts and affairs with others, be it office gossip, workplace romances, and a baby bombshell. Wowza.
So what happened when you told him you were pregnant?
I called him and I was like, I got something to tell you. I'm at the hospital. He was like, don't tell me you're pregnant. I said, well, I'm pregnant. And like, he just sat on the phone silent. And then he said, I'm gonna call you back. And he never called me back. And I'm just waiting for the phone to ring and no call back from Mr. Joyner.
Like
You
I
never
said,
called back?
I had to take some time to think about it. Like I said, I was not the only one. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I know that she was having sex.
Enter the supporting cast, Ms. Jones's mother and Mr. Joyner's mommy. Now they had quite a few opinions, and they were not holding back. It was a family affair, peeps, filled with all the right ingredients.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem.
You know, we're here discussing baby Hazel,
Yes,
her
ma'am.
paternity, and Ms. Jones asserts that your son, Mr. Joyner, is her biological father. Do you believe that?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Please
I absolutely-
tell the court why.
Well, they brought her to see me when she was 2 days old. Olivia, I didn't find out till 2 weeks before that she was pregnant. When you
So your
touch
son
a
never
baby,
told you?
You know, you just know.
So here we are in a courtroom drama where this responsible military veteran was asked to put his money where his mouth was. Seemed he forgot where he stood. He had the means, but not the will to shell out a few bucks for a paternity test. Meanwhile, Ms. Jones, the single mom, just wanted some answers.
You wouldn't pay for it. A man would have paid for it. $700. Just saying. Sorry.
No, that's what you're here to do.
I mean,
that's what you're here to do.
That's
is
the
to-
facts.
I agree. I mean, when you say in open court that you are a responsible military veteran and you said she saw you from a mile away because of the way you live and what you have, and you have a home and you have this. If you say, I'd like to have a paternity test.
There was a lot of drama to unpack here, but who has the time? But these guys surely had a lot of time on their hands to make such choices and end up here in paternity court. Let's roll out the concrete facts now. Here we go.
Joyner, you are the father.
Yes.
I see tears in your eyes. You looking at your baby? What do you feel?
Man up to her now.
What do you feel?
She's beautiful.
She is. She's a doll baby.
What do you feel, Mr. Joyner?
She's beautiful. I'm sorry for denying her.
And I will say this, Mr. Joyner, you've lost some time, and I can see from your reaction.
So, we've got Miss Walton and Mr. Cherry, a couple in a 9-year relationship, now facing the ultimate relationship test, a paternity dispute over their 1-year-old son, Josiah. She believed Josiah was Mr. Cherry's twin, while Mr. Cherry was convinced she cheated. Rocky times ahead.
Ms. Walton, you say your 9-year relationship with your high school love is in jeopardy because he denies fathering your 1-year-old son, Josiah. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cherry, you claim that Ms. Walton cheated constantly with another man, and you are 100% sure that he is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
We've got a classic tale of high school sweethearts turned into a tumultuous relationship. Despite the deep emotions tied to their 9-year journey, it had been plagued by lies and infidelity. Both parties had a history of cheating and tit-for-tat retaliation, leaving their family hanging by a mere thread.
You know, so I actually have a lot of love for her. You know, I have deep feelings and emotions for her. You know, so but throughout the whole time of our 9-year relationship, it just been lies. So I'm here today just to let her know that Josiah is not mine through the cheating and the lies.
There's a lot to lose. And it's not just about you two. I mean, you have this 9-year relationship, your high school sweethearts. Tell me when it started to go wrong.
It started to go wrong around the time that
the tangled web of timelines and affairs, baby mama and daddy's relationship drama took a new twist when they argued over the conception of their son. Miss Walton's rendezvous with her ex, just a week before getting cozy with Mr. Cherry, created a sticky situation. With birthdays, breakups, and bedroom antics all in the mix, the conception dates were about as clear as mud.
The week before Thanksgiving of 2014, which is
that's it.
Basically when I was with him. I didn't get conceived with Josiah until the week of Thanksgiving, which is on Thanksgiving Day, due to us eating and enjoying family.
Way before
you know, and we end up having sex. That's when my son was conceived. But when my son was conceived, I had stopped messing with my ex a week before. So ain't no possibility that that is.
The plot thickened. Mr. Cherry came armed with evidence straight out of a drama series, messages, late-night pickups, and confessions. Oh my, a sordid tale of trust issues and infidelity. The late-night escapades and confessions do make it a challenge to determine the true father.
And what I found out my evidence.
What do you have?
Okay.
This exhibit here?
Yes, ma'am.
Step towards it.
This is the first evidence I have right here. This is when I went to my family member's house. This is what she told me. She said that a guy that came over that looked something similar like me but had goals in his mouth. You know, so I asked her.
Which is not true, Your Honor, because my ex don't even have goals.
I asked her.
Oh, the classic, he looks like me argument. Mommy came in swinging, claiming that little Josiah was undoubtedly her son, citing all those precious baby features and moments. Meanwhile, Mr. Cherry was left in a whirlwind of doubt as he saw glimpses of another man as the child grew.
All of you, the nose, the eyes is from me, the color is from me, the hair is from me. He is his mama's child, okay? He looks like his father in different stages and different ways.
That. That's all. I just
If it wasn't his son, why sign the birth certificate? Why be there? Why cut his umbilical cord? Why leave my son on to that being your son and then?
So wait, he cut the umbilical cord?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, ain't that a kicker? Ms. Walton's ex, the one who started this mess, is now lurking in the background, ready to swoop in when things go south. It's like a never-ending soap opera with these two. Cheating accusations, tit for tat, and a sprinkle of he said, she said.
Ms. Walton?
No, he's out of sight, out of mind, Your Honor.
What does that mean?
When he started cheating, I'll probably call him back.
I mean, the situation we in now.
You all have just taken the leap from tit to tat to vicious cycle. First is this, and then you get so caught up where it's just, you say she did it, he says she did it. We don't know if the egg came before the chicken or the chicken came before the egg. We just know we fried.
So much drama and even more toxicity brought to you straight from this couple. The real sufferer in this equation was the baby, so time to bring him into the spotlight and see what the destiny had planned for him.
Mr. Cherry, you are the father. Feels good to hear that?
Yes.
I can see the emotion all over your face.
It's hard.
a year worth of
I mean-
denial, being called
I mean, this
HOE.
is,
Hold on, Miss Wall.
this is,
What are you feeling, Mr. Cherry?
what I'm feeling right now is that
We've got a classic episode of He Said, She Said in the courtroom today. Meet Ms. Greenhouse, who summoned Mr. Thompson to the ultimate showdown. She was suing me, Thompson, for a cool $750, claiming it's the down payment she put on a car for him. Say what? And that wasn't all.
Ms. Greenhouse, you summoned Mr. Thompson to court for a DNA test for your 7-month-old son, G.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim he has neglected his responsibilities as a father since you called off the wedding last month.
Yes, Your Honor.
Additionally, you were also suing Mr. Thompson for $750, the amount of the down payment you put on a vehicle for him.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's the classic tale of love gone sour on relationship roller coaster. Baby mama and daddy, after a whopping 11 years of on-again, off-again drama, finally decided to cancel their wedding. Yeah. Why, you ask? Well, the usual suspects: insecurity, disrespect, and accusations of infidelity. Who needs reality TV when you've got this juicy saga?
Oh, well, I was gonna marry Gregory. We were dating for 11 years off and on. I have a 4-year-old son by Gregory, and I also have a 7-month-old by Gregory. I called off the wedding because he's insecure and he's disrespectful, and I don't want to marry someone like that.
After 11 years, you just figured that out?
No, it's like, no, we were together for 11 years off and on, but I had my 4-year-old son, right? I went off to college. Right after I had my 4-year-old son, I got pregnant, and we tried to make it work there.
Fasten your seatbelts now. It's gonna get real turbulent. Mr. Thompson and Ms. Greenhouse were locked in a heated debate about their past, and the accusations were flying faster than a superhero in a cape. Dear Lord, baby daddy insisted on multiple partners, while mommy, obviously, disputed it.
So you're saying when you made G, meaning you are G's father, you believe, or you?
At the time we conceived him, or supposedly conceived him, she was still having sex with multiple partners.
That's a lie. You asked me who did I have sex. It was never multiple partners. So don't ever come at me like that. You asked me who did I have sex.
What I do?
2 weeks
What I
prior,
do?
Then we had sex. I had sex with somebody else.
What I do? I went through
2
your
weeks
phone.
prior.
I went through your
2
Facebook.
weeks prior.
It ain't no 2 weeks.
Well, they kept duking it out over their relationship. Yep, still at it. Thompson claimed that the plaintiff accused him of sticking around only because of their child, SJ. Pretty soon, financial matters were thrown into the mix and it got heated. It's like a soap opera with a dash of Family Feud, and Judge Lake was in the middle of it all, trying to untangle this messy web of accusations and emotions.
We was only together because of SJ?
This is what you told me multiple times.
You
don't
that.
really want to be with me, Greg. You only with me because of SJ.
I told you that.
And to a major extent, yes, because of my son, the all-American way, your mom and your original mama and daddy and raising your kids together. If it don't work, it don't work. But I tried my longest and my hardest.
Why do you go back to him over and over again?
Time for the get to the babies moment. Because of some 2-week relationship hiccups and mommy's admission of sleeping with someone else during their break, there were no huge doubts. But hold on, she said he knew about it before they got back together, but the trust ship had sailed.
Car payments, whatever they need, whatever I can do to keep them a family together, I will do. I'm not up in all this. It's all about the kids. It ain't even about all this riffraff. Get to the baby.
So this doubt that you have comes from the 2-week before incident. You think this 2-week relationship was something that continued?
Around that time, like I said, she was talking to multiple guys.
A whiteboard controversy here, folks. Plaintiff claimed that the defendant suggested the name gay on the hospital whiteboard upon birth, and Dada was quick to agree to that and even signed the birth certificate. However, a bombshell dropped then. He wanted a DNA test, but he was lied to by the mommy.
Everything is extra with you.
It's
I
not.
didn't do
It's
neither
not.
one of them at the top.
Okay,
I told
you didn't do that at the hospital on the
That's the way
whiteboard.
everybody else
At the
is
hospital with me and you didn't do that on the whiteboard.
Like I said,
On the whiteboard, you didn't do
when
that.
he came out, she know I said something about him. He looked.
we was at the hospital when I gave birth to my
darker
son.
than my first boy.
Okay.
She know this. This is not the first time it came up when she contacted you.
Your Honor,
he
he
said
said that my son
I said something in the hospital.
Here comes Shanta, Mr. Greenhouse's sister, all ready to spill the tea. She claimed she overheard a juicy conversation between Kristen and Greg, and that too right before they signed those crucial hospital papers for little Gay. Let's hear what it was.
Please stand, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Shantae Gunnels. I'm Kristen Greenhouse's youngest sister. I'm only here because I was there during the time that Chrissy and Greg rekindled their relationship.
You're saying you were there and you overheard something as it related to Mr. Thompson not wanting to have a DNA test?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you hear?
When it came up to them going to the hospital to have G, Chrissy was talking to Greg or whatever. She was like, hey.
Here's the lowdown. The witness shared a bit about baby daddy's behavior. Apparently, little Gay made a comment that got him all riled up. Poor kid basically said, "That might be Gay's daddy, but you're my daddy. Ouch." time for Greg to do some explaining.
But you got a whole girlfriend, so what am I
that
doing
ain't
now?
my
Why do it
daddy. I said,
matter?
what you talking about? I said, who your mom boyfriend? He said, yeah.
What you mean is you felt like he was saying it's G's daddy,
Wherever
but
she
it's
been
not
having time
my
to play
daddy.
father figure. It might be G daddy, but you my daddy, is what he telling me. So I called her, I just summed it up. You shut up.
Mr. Thompson, let's be respectful to ladies.
Nah, see, that's his problem. He's disrespectful.
The courtroom is like a pressure cooker ready to blow. Any second now. Defendant's bad behavior took center stage, and the ladies were not having it. They were calling him out on his disrespectful attitude, and rightfully so. Even the judge got fed up.
But I called you to talk to my son, and you disrespectful.
So you gotta shut up. When I call and talk to my son, it's a problem.
Thompson, the way you're speaking to women is disturbing. All of this is disturbing. You have a mother, a strong mother. You would never want anyone to tell her to shut up.
You talk to her like that.
Well,
you do.
I talk to you like
You do, yes.
All right, paternity folks, let's get to the bottom of this case now, shall we? Because these guys were just talking and rambling on, but we need answers, right? So we gotta have those. Here we go.
Mr. Thompson, you are the father.
I feel more relief.
For what? And you knew this from jump.
I did.
You knew this from jump.
You knew I had doubts from jump.
Y'all can't do this. You all said you've been together for almost 11 years on and off.
Pain.
Now you've made 2 children and brought 2 children into this world. It's like they're in a horror movie.
Oh, what a tangled web of young love we have here. Ms. Mitchell claimed her childhood sweetheart, Mr. Robinson, pressured her into losing her virginity, and ding, 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 an unexpected pregnancy. And now doubts plagued him left and right.
Ms. Mitchell, you are here in the court today because you claim your childhood sweetheart stole your virginity, got you pregnant, and is now denying paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Rylan.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Robinson, in your defense, you claim you doubt paternity because after Ms. Mitchell told you she was pregnant, you found out she was sleeping with 4 other men.
Yes, Your Honor.
The drama continues. Mr. Robinson claims he only found out about the possible other men in Ms. Mitchell's life through Facebook. And wait a sec, from her best friend, who was quite eager to spill the beans on her friend.
She didn't even tell me she was pregnant, Your Honor. She had one of her friends she grew up with inboxed me and her on Facebook and said, I'm not trying to start no drama. I thought I'd let you know that she had sex with 4 other guys, okay?
Let me get this story straight. You start getting messages from the peanut gallery.
Yes, Your Honor, from her best friend.
Well, here's a twist. Erica, a key player in this drama, apparently went to the hospital and tried to get Ryan involved in the baby's life, but that didn't work. Meanwhile, Diana, Hope's mom, joined the party and adamantly defended her daughter's virtue. She claimed she was raised better than all this drama suggested.
So I said, Erica, I said, will you do me a favor? She said, what, bub? I said, will you make sure you go to the hospital for me? She said, yes, I will.
And so she went.
Yeah, when she came up, she said that she tried to get Ryan to come, but Heather wouldn't let him.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
That's not a lie. That's exactly what she told me. That's exactly.
So hold on.
A social media showdown in the courtroom. Ms. Diana claimed that Ryan didn't get to the hospital when Rylan was born, and someone was behind that. However, the real reason was revealed soon enough. Facebook drama was also on the menu, with accusations flying about statuses and immaturity, and there went the judge.
2 days after the baby was born.
So if he was in jail, if he was in jail, how did he get arrested again?
With my daughter in the hospital. And yes, his sister was there, and I said, well, where's Ryan?
It wasn't the day after, it was the 9th.
I'm the one that
there.
said, well, I'm glad you're here. Where's Ryan? And she said, well, I'm trying to get a hold of him. And then I said, did you get a hold of him? And she said, no, Heather won't let him come.
Man, this was like a soap opera on steroids. Now Diana met Mr. Robinson, the potential baby daddy, and things seemed fine at first, but it all went south pretty soon. Now, Heather was in the mix, and she was here to tell the court that Hope didn't want Ryan to be part of Rylan's life. Lord, when will this drama end?
Yes, she is pregnant. I want to meet this man. I met him. He took me to his mother's house. It was a good time. I mean, it was a nice day. I thought, okay, well, maybe he's going to be okay. Well, then evidently he's back with Heather or whatever, and everything changes.
Yes, I have. I've contacted her and asked about the baby, and I did.
So, we've got a baby named Rylan in the mix, and her potential daddy, who seriously doubted his paternity. He argued that baby Rylan didn't look like him. So much so, he even presented pictures of his son. But mommy didn't buy that.
I got evidence.
She doesn't even even look like me or my son, who is a spitting image. My son, and when I tell you he's a spitting image of me,
just like Cody.
My son is a spitting image of me. Like, and when I tell you that,
Hold on, what is this evidence you have? Jerome, will you please hand me this evidence?
look at my son and look at her. They look nothing alike.
She looks
That
like
is
me.
my identical twin.
She looks like
That
just
is
like
my
her
identical
mother
twin.
when her
She looks
mother
nothing
So
like me.
you submitted these photos
Yes,
to
I
the
did.
court.
Well, these guys sure were ready to hear the results. And I think I say this for everyone. So were we? That was a lot to process. And these guys sure as heck did not make it easier for the court. Let's see what fate the baby was dealt with.
Mr. Robinson, you are the father. Before I ask Ms. Mitchell if it would be okay if you meet your daughter for the first time, I have to say, concerning the arbitration, where you were asking the court for $337.50, that's what you would be entitled to if it was determined that Mr. Robinson was in fact Ryland's biological father.